All right, so there's been a few updates to the SnowFire BLAST. Here we're showing an 8-foot unit, and we've got the optional back drag kit installed, and we're going to talk about the changes there. And then we're also going to talk about a few improvements that we made to the poly skids. We actually had an issue where they were sticking up, and so snow was leaking out the side. So to start with, I want to talk about the upgraded rubber back drag kit that we have. So first of all, toolcat applications, they didn't have enough curl, and some compact wheel loader applications, they didn't have enough curl or dump angle to activate the back drag, so you'd still be dragging your tip when it's down. So we needed to increase the angle of that, and so we do have this adjustment now, so we can turn this whole plate up or down. So the normal back drag cutting edge angle would be down here where this bolt is here, and it's rotated up. Some, a lot of common skid steers would have plenty of dump and curl to curl that back against a garage door or loading dock, whatever you're going to do. But in some applications like a toolcat, some other compact wheel loaders, you need to tip this whole thing forward in order to get enough curl. Also, we made this one universal piece. So this back drag angle here, we make all the way up to 10 feet. And so when we install them here at the factory, we're gonna just cut them off. So there's a little mark here to cut them at each size. So this is an 8-foot, it's been cut from 10 foot. So it's an easy adaptation to any size. So if you got a kit or you wanted to stock these kits at your warehouse, you could just buy the standard 10-foot, and then you just take a chop saw or a sawzall and cut this angle piece down to the right length. There's little notches that assist in identifying where to cut it off. And then the rubber. Before we had tried polyurethane on this, and the problem with the polyurethane is it would chatter. So the angle, it was so steep when you're back dragging, it would chatter along the ground and it'd become almost unusable. So what we did is we have a 1-inch rubber cutting edge now, and we actually left it extended a little bit. So these contour back as you're pulling the snow back and kind of act as little gates to help contain the snow as you're back dragging, so it's not just flowing out in one solid piece. So that's a nice little feature. It might look a little silly, but it actually helps to contain the snow. So on the SnowFire BLAST line, we've experienced some of these polyurethane skids actually sticking up inside this panel. So if you go over a curb, you hit this, hit the curb, the skid goes up, you want it to drop back down. That's the whole point of the springs in here. So what we found is that you can't over tighten some of these bolts. The bolts that I'm talking about are this bottom one here, these 5, and then if you have the back drag kit installed, you have to make sure that this bolt is also not over tightened. Let me explain. So this bolt here, if it's over tightened, it will pinch the side panels in, and the springs, the leaf springs that are inside here that you can't see, will get pinched and they won't operate properly. These 5 here are holding a bushing that's inside, and if that bushing can't rotate on the bolt, it locks up the skid as it goes and travels up inside those slots. So these 5 bolts should also be hand tight. Now they're not going to ever loosen up and fall out because there's a locking nut on the other side. The same thing goes for this bolt here. If this bolt is over tight, it can also cause pinching issues. So we recommend that all of these bolts are hand tight or just barely snug. Again, the locking nut will do the job to hold everything in place. It doesn't affect the integrity of the product at all. It's just a matter of having the right tension on everything and allowing that polyurethane skid to travel up and down freely. You still replace it the same way. So if you wanted to replace the skid, you lift it up a little bit in the air, and you pop this pin out, you flip this lever down, that releases all the tension. You're going to loosen these, take these bolts out, and there's a little bushing that's going to come out as well. And then you pop the new skid in there. You put the bushing in from this side, the bolt in from this side, the nut from the other side, and then you can snug those down to the bushing, but then you want to make sure that you loosen them just a little bit so that they can spin by hand. And that's the easy update and instruction to how to replace the skids without having them stick up any longer.